Welcome to Once Human, new and seasoned players. We're going to be talking the garden class today. We're going to go into our backpack. You will need to be level 5 before you get access to your cradle. So we're going to go into our cradle, tab, cradle, backpack. We're going to talk about the core. Now, the core, we're going to put this down somewhere where it's a lot of space. Now, you see the circle? That's the area where all your planters need to be, okay? Now you put them down. Now, you supply it with power. Then you can give it, you go into it, and there'll be a section here for water, boiled water, purified water. It will take boiled water and irrigate your crops. And up in the top section is you can set the light settings. Now, my recommendation is, as always, to put your plants and this thing under a roof so you don't get contaminated water buggering up your plants. This will be 2 walls high to get a roof, right? So we don't need to use this. I never use this thing. You can go away. Right, now, so look, the next thing in our backpack, we'll be looking, backpack, we'll be looking at our furnace thing, which is what I chose. Now, make sure you're not standing in a doorway, because this will block you. So I'm going to put him right down behind us on our left hand side. Yeah, there we go. Now he doesn't require any power. Now any specializations like stardust decay or golden ore ingot production, all those specializations belong to a furnace. This guy and any ingots you have unlocked in your tech tree, this guy will do it all. Now we go into. As you can see, I have the specialization for gold and silver ingots, so he can do it just like my furnaces. Only when it comes to your furnaces, some of your specializations, I think the stardust decay and things like that, require you to destroy your furnace and to replace it before that becomes effective. Whereas this little guy, it's just automatic because you have to put him down all the bloody time, right? Now build, not build, we're going to press X to summon him back to the backpack. And he's back in our backpack. Okay, yay. Now, next thing we have a look at is a special tool called the environmental detector. You drag it onto your hotbar, okay? Now, we're going to press number 7 because that's where it is. Now, it's telling me in top left corner, my region fertility is 700, which is the max. Area temperature is 30, quite nice. And the area contamination is 0. Okay, if you're not a gardener, hit enter, ask in chat if there's a gardener who can come over and suss out the area. It's got to be at least 550. Anything less than that, I wouldn't even bother putting the base down. Okay, now I'm over just across from Blackfield Oilfields. We go map. Here we are, Blackfield Oilfields. I'm just up here across the river. I'm using hydro generators, so I don't have to go and get bloody fuel and shit anymore for them. Right, now the next thing we have in our backpack is our seed breeder box. Right, so I can go H because I've had a couple of plants in there, and I get, well, that was a lot. I put bloody 8 cone flowers in there, and I got what, 39 seeds. Holy shit, that was a lot. That's brilliant. Now, in order to breed seeds, I'm pretty sure I don't have anything on my backpack, so this will be an error. No fruits available. If there were fruits, they'd be here. So you must have the fruit on you. Deviated aloe, contaminated aloe cannot be done. The devs turned that off late in February 2026. This is now March 2026. So any other plant material can be done. Okay. Each seed will take approximately a minute to do. So if you put a stack of say 30 in there, that's going to be 30 minutes. Okay. I think an hour and a half for a full stack of 99. So only do, let's say you do 20, it's going to take 20 minutes. You're going to get like nearly 50 seeds from that, okay? And it's pretty bloody handy because you don't have to wait to unlock in the Memetics tech tree, or what's called the tech tree now. It used to be called Memetics. You don't have to wait to unlock seed breeding fertilizer, okay? So I've shown you the core, I've shown you what I use as for a plant, which is the furnace, because it doesn't need any power and it's fine. We've shown you the environmental detector, and we've shown you seed breeding box. Okay, just remember, the plant material must be on your person in your backpack. Right, the tools of the trade that we were given. The tools of the trade. That's my house. Yep, just say. Right, over here, we can craft a compost bin, we can harvest sickle, garden gloves, and portable plants. Now, portable plant you can craft, you can put that down, and you can transfer plants from whatever pot they're already in into that. Okay, that's why I would, if I'm just going to grow another plant, I'm just going to put down another pot and just do it there. Makes no bloody sense, doesn't it? The compost bin, yeah, I don't even use it. For some odd reason, the last couple of weeks when I'm out and about, just doing my usual killing and murdering and pillaging shit, I'll see something like purified water gained into your backpack. Like it'll flash up over here to the left. It'll flash up here, purified water, 1. Mushroom, 2. I'm like, where the crap is this shit coming from? There's obviously a memory bug in the game, because that shouldn't happen. I don't even have that on me, right? I do craft a couple of these and put in a vending machine. I sell them for 3,500 EL, cheap, just to help new players out who aren't gardeners, right? Now, with these in your backpack, you'll get more plants, more seeds for your garden. All right. What else is there? You will need, however, to find animals and kill them to make hides. And as you can see, you need 5 for this one. You need 3 for this. Okay. Now the devs have tinkered with animal spawns. The drop rates are quite low, but every now and then you'll run into a group of reindeer or deer. The wolf rates have been dropped. The rabbit rates have been dropped on some of the maps. I know with Manibus Nowcott map, you can go down to the beach down the bottom, or the beach to the right, and still get a reasonable amount of rabbits in there. On endless streams, that's not a problem. We've got both maps. On the Way of Winter, rabbits are going to be a rare thing. If you see it, kill it and get the fur. It's required. Okay. It's required. I believe for the Way of Winter, if you put rabbit or use rabbit fur to craft your gloves, it'll give you 2% elemental. I believe on ED, if you use it on the mask, it's like 6 elemental. I believe that's what it is. Okay, now you've seen this shit. Let's talk about morphics. Okay, I do not use the expensive solution. I will use for my morphics the cheap solution, which is the biomechanical one. You can do plants. I've done that. That's fine. But I do this one. The only problem with the plants is they're sort of like, the plant stays there, that's fine, and it's harvested by the mushroom guy. And that's like a banana tree, apple tree, and stuff like that. Now, when it comes to the plant grafting sort of thing, and we'll talk biomechanicals. You can't do any of the trees as a biomorphic. You can't do peppercorn, and you can't do any of the contaminated plants. But anything else goes. Okay. So I've got my 10 medium planters. That's the max you can have on the base. I'm going to craft 30 of these, and these require toxins, 1 off, 10 acid each, and 5 purified water. Okay, so I would do that. I would then go and hunt down on an endless stream server or any server. Remember, if it's not endless streams, you are going to be limited to a number of morphics that are available on the map to go and hunt. Now, where are you, little bugger? These things, right? That's what you need. Okay. So once you've got 10 of those little buggers and you've got 30 of the solution, right? You put down 10 planters, medium planters. You'll have water on you as well. You'll have your seeds, although you don't necessarily, if it's on your base, the seeds will pull from the chest anyway. So you'll plant a seed. You'll give it growth boost fertilizer. Now, you don't need to. It just basically halves the time it takes for the damn things to grow. Use a regular fertilizer, okay? If that plant says it takes 8 hours to grow, it takes 8 hours to grow. With boost growth fertilizer, that would be halved, okay? But if you haven't got that unlocked, then just regular fertilizer that you produce in the compost bin there, just above me to the left. Give it that, and then water it. Don't overwater it though, because that will slow down the growth rate. You'll step out of that and be given the option to choose H, graft. You'll choose the little funny fellow with the feet and the lid and the orange lid and the eyeballs, and then step out of that and it'll turn into this. You'll then press F while looking at it, and you'll give it 3 of those biomorphic catalysts. Any more than 3, it'll just give you a message and no, it won't do it. Anything less, you have basically given your morphic less chance of actually turning into a morphic. Now, it is RNG. You can do 10 and get none, or you could get up to 4 or 5 of the bastards turning into biomorphics, right? Now, when they do, and hopefully you do get biomorphics, you go up to it, you press G to empty the box. Hang on, give me a second. Get rid of that. G to empty the box, and then look at the plant, press L, and it goes in your backpack, okay? You will then replace that medium planter and wait for the other ones. Once they're all done and you harvest the ones that turn to plants, so they're all now clear, you will then do another 10 of a chosen different plant, not the same one you just got a morphic from, okay? Move on. If you've done coneflower, do mint. If you've done mint, do spike mato. If you've done spike mato, do tomato. If you've done that, do onion. Now, you can't do peppercorn or any of the contaminate plants, which is your contaminate blueberry, contaminate wheat, and contaminate aloe. You cannot turn plants of contaminate aloe into seeds. Devs stopped us from doing that very recently. Okay, now at the end of the scenario, as a gardener, like most things, I'll explain it in most of my videos anyway, you need to pick up your biomorphic plants in your backpack. You need to pick up all your devs out of their container. That's those fellas over there in their little containers. All your little helpers and that, they need to be picked up, removed out of those things, out of the containment units, right? If you're breeding animals, pick up the babies that haven't been used for breeding into your backpack. Take one of every material stack that you have in your base. No ore, no wood, no fuel, no water, no oil, no stardust ore, no stardust source, no acid. All that shit, leave it, right? You will then go to Eternal Land with all that stuff that you need for your crafting, your plants, your animals and shit, and your devs. You'll go to Eternal Land, go up to the veranda. If you've not been there before, press B, destroy the planter on the veranda. That'll give you some astral sand, enough to put down a box inside. You will then open up, hit G on that box, and you'll have a storage account access with 5,000 slots. You're going to transfer everything from your backpack, each and every slot, the building section, the materials section, the food section, and your weapons section. That's not going to have too much in it, but I would say before going there, craft yourself a brand new electric drill and chainsaw. Also take that over there with you, okay? So all that stuff goes over to Eternal Land. Now, the reason why I say do this before going over to a new scenario, and we'll come back to it in a sec. When you go to a new scenario, if you intend to have your morphics, you need to choose the gardener class, because if you a gardener cannot give this to non-gardeners. They can trade them with other gardeners, but if you give that to a non-gardener, they will simply be destroyed and all the hard work will be done. Okay, so now you've taken an brand new electric drill out of the bench along with a chainsaw, and your morphics, your young animals that haven't been bred, all your devs, and one stack of all the materials I just mentioned before, to Eternal Land. You can come back, you can continue to play the game for another week or so with your friends until everyone decides, yes, we're ready to move to a new scenario, or we've got a week and a half before the new servers open, and that's when we're all going to be moving. Good choice. Okay, right, but you are prepared, you are ready. You've got enough stuff here to keep crafting and repairing your weapons, your ammos, your medications and shit. All right, now when you get to your next scenario, choose garden class because you need to be able to use morphics. You are way ahead of anyone who is not a gardener. You do not have to grind that shit ever again, unless you want to. I mean, yeah, garden of the garden. I mean, you can trade, you can sell these things if you want to do that. But remember, you can only have a maximum of 10 of these down on your base. That's whether they're growers or whether they're actually in production. Okay, so if you put, say, 5 that are in production down and you have 5 growers, you might only get 1 of the growers turned to morphic because the calculation drops off of the more that you have. Now, I'm not saying if you just put 2 down, boof, you're going to get 2 morphics. No, the maths in the game is not that reliable to be able to count on, and the devs know that. Right, there's been quite a few issues with complaints with the maths in the game not adding up certain things. Okay, so yes, you've gone to your new scenario, choose a garden class, boof, you can now use those, not a problem. You no longer have the grinders. There is one other thing a garden class can do, and we'll need a planter for that. That has nothing in it. And this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. Right, let's do some farming, shall we? Oh. If you look at the section on the right, do you notice anything? Oh, we've got crop cultivation. All right. What's that underneath it to the right? That's the box needs to be adjusted, devs. We have material cultivation. Look at all this shit. Now, I actually did battery. I got 3 batteries. But I don't want this shit. Other people don't want this shit. If we want this shit, we will get out there and kill, murder, pillage places of interest and get our stuff. We will take it by force if necessary. Yeah, that is the dumbest thing I've ever seen implemented. Right. So we've taken you through the stuff that the gardener gets in their backpack. We've taken you through the few various things that are in the workbench, the supply bench. We've talked to you about this, the reason why we use medium planters only, the maximum of 10. Always put your gardens under roofs. You don't have to give them lights. You don't, once they've been irrigated, watered the first time, you don't even have to water the bastards. Now, there is one final thing, and that's called a soil solution. If you find when you go to a plant, there are symbols that turn up. Now, unfortunately, these have all grown. I'll tell you what, let's just whack one right here. Plant. Let's put that blueberry in here, and we'll just get regular fertilizer. Done. Now, I'm not going to give you any water. You're down to 30. Here we are. Look, extreme. How is this extreme irrigation? How's that extreme? Extreme would be bloody up here beyond the 100, mate. Right, let's give that a little sucker plant there, a little bit of water. No salt water, we're just going to give him a little bit. That'll do, give me that. Don't need all that, but that'll do. Okay, let's water the plant then. Now, we can't even grab and move this thing, that's stupid. Right, now, you could just go max. With blueberries, it's max, and just let him go. Now, that will eventually go away. Improper lighting, vitality -15 due to exposure to yellow light, which is coming through the window. Okay, so maybe you can have some solid walls will stop that, because it is under lights. Fertilizer gain. Guaranteed harvest yields increasing the probability of a bumper harvest crop by 30%. Planter box gain. Increased crop growth speed due to high quality of the soil in the planter box. Soil fertility boost. The current area soil is extremely fertile, increasing crop growth speed, the probability of a bountiful harvest, and deviation probability. See, because our area is, fertility is 700. So the higher your fertility area, the more you're going to get deviated crops. And if you have a couple of bees in their little boxies, yeah, you'll get a lot more. There's also a mutation fertilizer right at the end of the mimic tree for fertilizers. I've never used it. Never need to use it. Never need to craft that damn shit. Right? But yeah, we've got plenty of plants. Please, please. Yay. Looks good to me. Right. I think that pretty much covers everything you need to know about a gardener class. The tools you are given in the backpack, the tools you have in your supply bench, the rules concerned around this. Remember, you can trade these with other gardeners, but you cannot give them to non-gardeners. They'll simply be destroyed. Okay. And other than that, I'll say this. If you want to do this, I recommend going to an endless stream server, because not only are there like 120 morphic crates you can go get on both maps, which are joined, you can actually farm the little bastards in certain locations and get a whole heap of them. By the time you have finished, my main character under the other account, he's got 60 of these blades. He's got like 3 of each plant. So and he just stays a gardener. Okay, right. Now this character is quite young, doesn't have a great deal of stuff. We'll have a look at our gear. As you can see, only a level 9 frosty blessing on that. Oh, that's an old mod that I'm using on it, because she was in before the new mod system came about. What do you got here? That's a new mod. That's not bad. A 15. You got 12 for the frost wither. Got a 9 for that. That's a bit low. Got a 9 for there. A 9 for there. And a 13 there. Now on my other character, which is under on the EU server, when the compensation came in, she only had like 1800 mods. That's between gear and weapons. She got 4,000 mod dust compensation stuff, and she got a box, and she opened up that box and she got a Chiroblast and a, what was on this thing? Chiroblast and a Frosty Blessing shinies, level 17. While my other character on the NA server under the other account, who has been playing a hell of a lot longer and scrapping thousands of mods, got nothing. Ah well, it is RNG after all for this game. But I really like this weapon skin. I don't have a skin for you though. Do I? No. The skin I did get is for the other series of weapons. Blueprints. Weapons. This thing. I believe that skin was for these ones. I think. I'll have to check. On my other character, I have the weapon and the skin enabled. If I find out that that skin is no longer in my skin group, then we'll be bringing it to their attention, because I won that. That is mine forever. It was black with like feathers and shit off it. Yep. That was during the giveaway prior to their Chinese New Year. Okay, that pretty much wraps up the old gardener class. Remember, if you get stuck or anything like that, you can always hit enter, ask chat the question, keep it short and straight to the point, and hopefully somebody in there can come over and they can give you a hand to figure it out. Okay, other than that, enjoy, make friends, and I hope you fall in love with this game as much as I have. See ya.